Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I don't know how you got here, but I do hope that you'll stay until the end of this video, because in this particular video, I'm going to show you some neat things we can do using Excel. So I'm not going to do like something so complicated, but I use Excel often to make sure that I got a lot of things going according to plan. And one of the things I like to keep according to plan is the budget. So what I can do here is like a very simple table. I can use what I call what's called the if command, right? So of course, whenever we do a command, we start with the equal sign. Then we type in if, open parentheses, and what we need are some inputs. So let's go ahead and go here to B2. And we're gonna say we're gonna put next the less than symbol. B2 less than B3, then comma, open parenthesis. If it's less than C2, then we're going to say that it's within budget. Okay, so whatever you type here is what's going to come out in this particular square or cell. And then if it's over, what's going to happen? It's going to go over budget. Bam. Okay, close parentheses. Right? So right now we're over budget, and I haven't put anything yet. That's a bad sign. Now let's go ahead and edit it a bit so it looks neat. Let's make that 15. Let's make these 10. 10, yeah, 10 is fine. And let's go ahead and change the input. Philippine peso. There we go. So now it's in accounting input. Okay, so let's say we put in a bunch of numbers on this side first. Let's say for the first one we have a budget of 1 million. Okay, so this square is still too small. Column width 15. Yeah, there we go. Now it fits. So we have a column. We have that. And let's say we're going to have about a few more rows. Let's just put in, I don't know, that many. In the second row we have another, let's say again 1 million pesos, and then next one we have 500,000, next one we have 10,000, next one we have I don't know, let's say 50,000, next one we have, let's say 10 million, the next one we have is 5 million. Okay, so now we have all of these inputs for our budget, and let's go ahead and title these budget, budget status, expense. So this is expenditures, and let's go ahead and make another one here. Let's go ahead and make this 25. Yeah, 25. And let's put this here, description. Alright? Just making it really, really simple for everyone to understand. So let's say here we have materials phase 1. Let's say phase 1. Oops. Exclamation point. Materials phase 1. Materials. Then we'll do that. Phase 2. And then we have here transpo expense. Documentations. And whatever here. Reimbursements, let's say. Let's say for here we have the lot. And here we have labor. These are just generic things. And then here we'll just put total. So we're going to use the if command to determine if our project is in with budget. Let's say here we spent 2 million on materials on phase 1 because we wanted like a nicer house, and then we spent another, let's say here we spent like 800,000. So we were more focused on how the house will. So in the phase 1, this is when we build the house, and the phase 2 is when we do the finishing works, right? So let's say the client was more focused on having a more structurable stronger structure, let's say that. And then let's say on transpo we went overboard again, so that's a lot. And then for documentation we only ended up spending 8,000. Reimbursements we ended up spending about 75,000. For the land we ended up spending 11 million. And then for the labor, it turns out that our workers were a lot better than we thought, so we only ended up spending like that much for 4,500,000, right? So now what we can do here is we can go ahead and take the sum of each of these things. Bam, sum. And then we'll just go ahead and carry that over so we don't have to type it again. Bam! We are over budget. So what we ended up spending is 19 million when we only had a budget of 17 million. Okay, so we're over budget. Okay, so let's say that the structure hasn't been built yet, and then this is where we were standing. This is when we were discussing with the client about like how we're going to end up spending our money and whatnot, blah blah blah. Let's say that instead of going into this much into our materials, we convinced them that the structure was structurally sound. It's a safe building. We don't really need to spend that much money on all of these materials. So we tell them that we only need 1.5 million. All right. So now we have to bring it down some more. For the transpo, let's say it would be easier to just buy our own second-hand vehicle and make sure that it works, blah, blah, blah. And let's say we're able to cut down our budget here now to, I don't know, 600. Okay, we're still over budget. Reimbursements for the labor, let's say that we actually have too many people. Like we got so many good workers that they were able to handle it all, so they each just got a bigger share for each other. So let's say we were able to get this down to 4 million. Okay, so now we're kind of still getting into the budget. Let's say the material phase 2, that they don't want to finish everything right away. They're going to buy some materials in the future, but for now they just want to have the basic necessities down. So we cut this down to, let's say, 500,000. Okay, we're still over budget. So what are we going to do now? Reimbursements. Let's say this is where we're going to go ahead and really cut back. So the reimbursements, let's say for ourselves, we cut down on the transpo, so we don't have to worry about reimbursements that much because we have our own vehicle now. So let's say, how much do we need? 30,000. Okay, we're still over budget by a bit. Let's go ahead and cut down a little bit more on phase materials for phase 2, or sorry, for phase 1. 100. Bam. Now we're within budget. So we can use Excel to kind of manipulate our projects so that they will work in our favor, and then we can present it to the client and show them how we can make their project work in a financial way, to make it more feasible for them. Of course, if it's not that big of a difference for them, if you ask me, clients shouldn't worry about if their project goes over by maybe 25%. I think that's not always a bad thing, because that just says there was more good put into this into their home or their structure or the proposal or what have you. So for example here, even though we went over budget on some items such as materials, so we know that now their house is going to be structurally sound throughout the rest of their lives. And then here on the transpo, now they have an additional card that they can send at the end, so they can probably make some money for that. And then they also spent additional money on the lot, which means that their lot probably got bigger from their original expectation. So sometimes going over budget means good things, and going under within budget isn't always a good thing. Like for example, let's say we can look for labor that's only going to be worth 2 million, and then we'll be way within budget. But then there's the possibility that the work output will not be as great as if we had put the initial costing of 4 million that the architect has been proposing that they should do, suggesting that they should do. So there's a lot of things that can happen, and we can always use Excel to determine these factors. Excel is, I think, like I said earlier, I use Excel all the time. It's very helpful, and hopefully it can also help you guys with your projects in the future. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. I hope you guys learned something. I hope we can always better ourselves, and until next time, bye bye.